I think now, when someone is thinking about coming into the Child and Youth Worker program, there's such a wide range of opportunities.
Currently at Roy McMurtry Youth Center as a Youth Services Officer.
And I'm a Child and Youth Counselor at the George Hall Center for Children and Families.
Coordinator Services for Bartimaeus, Central and Northern Ontario.
Child and Youth Worker and for approximately 27 years.
I'm a Child and Youth Worker in a residential treatment program.
I'm a Child and Youth Worker at the George Hall Center.
And I was the case manager.
I'm a Youth Services Officer.
Community Arts Initiative for Youth called Sketch.
I started working here and teaching at Humber.
I'm a Child and Youth Worker here at Libby's Place.
And I'm a Child and Youth Worker.
I work for an agency called Peel Children's Center, which is in Mississauga, Ontario.
I'm currently at the Toronto District School Board, supplying.
And I'm a teacher.
Recreational Youth Counselor.
And I'm a Youth Service Officer.
A Family Intervention Worker with a Child Protection Agency.
I'm a Child Youth Counselor at Hospital for Sick Kids.
A case aide.
I work at the Provincial Advocate for Children and Youth.
I am a foster parent.
A substance abuse counselor with a national charity.
Program manager for the Stay in School program.
I work at a high school in Toronto.
And I work at St. Joseph's Health Center in the Child and Adolescent Mental Health program.
So there's a whole world, like a variety of spaces and places to do child and youth work.
Your options are endless for age group and setting and place that you can use those skills and the different clients you can work with, and just not being stuck into one place as a CYW because we fit in so many environments.
And child and youth workers work across the province now in schools, in hospitals, in youth centers, in drop-in centers, in child welfare, in correctional, youth corrections, youth justice. The profession has come in leaps and bounds.
The program breaks you down. How much can you take? Because being a youth worker, it is hard. You have to. It takes a certain person to work with kids like that.
Pretty much all the time is, oh, I could never do that. It's so hard. How can you do that? It's so draining, and it is.
I was new and they didn't want to tell me their problems, and they didn't want to do anything for me that would enable me to look like I was working. Right?
Let's do this 9 to 5. Sometimes that 9 to 5 has to be 9 to 7, 9 to 9. You gotta sacrifice that. Sometimes, and then it's something that you have to accept as well, right? Like it's draining.
Been hit, slapped, punched, kicked. I've had urine thrown in my face and a guitar broke over my head.
What types of gangs are we gonna be working with? Because we couldn't mix certain gangs in the same room because, like, God knows what would happen.
The kids themselves, the adolescents, so peer issues, social issues, suicidal thoughts, low self-esteem, low self-image.
They attack us on such a visceral level in their healing process because they feel so damaged inside that they will want and need other people to feel damaged inside like them.
Start off with this group of youth that were street involved, angry, come with bandanas and attitude.
And you walk in and they're swearing at you and they don't want to see you and they want nothing to do with you and they hate you.
You've got to always remember that that is a child in front of you. That's a young person in front of you. See the young person and don't see the behavior. Because if you see the behavior first, you ultimately miss who's there.
First of all, that they have rights, that they are worthy of work no matter how much they're willing to share with us or not.
Most of our young people, it's not something that they choose. The young people that we work with who have been abused, they didn't choose that abuse.
So it was really, I think, an eye-opener for me, and learning not to judge someone and based on their behaviors and decisions they've made, or whether those are poor decisions or good decisions. A lot of people, due to their experiences, what they've been taught, how they've been raised, due to chemical imbalances in the brain, a diagnosis, an illness, whatever's going on for these people, there's a lot going on, and that's what I think we really need to find out.
The non-judgment piece comes in when we respect people for where they are and understand how they got there, and we don't want to make them force changes until they're ready.
But she didn't give me answers, but she gave me options of what I can do. I knew that she cared. She wanted the best for me, and so I would make decisions based on these options and really think about them, and then I'd go out and do them, and I'd find positive results.
Children come with so many
experiences and their backgrounds of trauma is so extensive. And having that understanding of where they've come from and why their behaviors are the way they are.
Kids have problems and they have issues that they need to be dealt with. And sometimes they just need the right person to ask them about them or talk to them about them.
A lot of them, they don't have a stable home. A lot of them, they're suffering in their homes in terms of, going through abuse.
Try to build self-esteem in them. A lot of kids are coming from situations where they have low self-esteem. So you just gotta try and pick out their strengths and work on those.
You got to work with these kids, and they've got to be able to come to you and trust you, and be able to bring issues to you that you can assist them with. So it's very difficult. It's a fine balance, which is something that over time, I still work at. When we get new kids, it's new personalities that you really try to work with.
The genuineness that you need, that you can't go in and pretend you care, you actually have to go in and care. Because they know when you're not being honest, they know when you're not being genuine.
You just don't know. Every day is going to be a different experience. And that's the great thing. Like, you come to work and you don't know what's going to happen.
No day is completely the same. I mean, there's a number of issues with kids outside your program. The whole key is to hopefully develop a relationship with the kid so that they have some level of honesty with you.
I feel that there's not enough males that are in this field. I think that we need a lot more. A lot of the kids or the youth that are having behavioral problems are male, and especially within the school setting. So I think that they need positive male role models in their lives.
You usually get a lot of barriers from the youth themselves about not wanting help, not needing it. And then when you take what that's about and then look at what they're dealing with in the schools, for example, just the social networks that are out there and the demands on the youth today, I mean, it's really complex when it comes to working with these kids.
There is a wide range of approaches, and it's good for people to become familiar with them and also understand which one are they most comfortable with.
But that is what child and youth work is about, and that is the heart and soul of it. Bringing voice to the children, supporting and advocating for them.
You need to be able to form relationships really, really quickly and efficiently and enjoy the youth that you're working with. And if you don't do that, then it's not going to work. So
if you have another reason to be with that person, that's not just here we are, right? It really shifts the top-down dynamic. It makes that mutual interest thing, so you can meet alongside somebody about something you're both interested in.
If I'm cooking, I know that I like to ask them for help. To be in the kitchen, just eat a meal or eat a snack or have some tea with them, I think it goes a very long way.
I really believe that in order to change behaviors, we need play and practice, and we need to not be held too tightly to how we defined ourselves yesterday if we really want to grow.
I'm not strict, I'm not firm with them unless I really need to be. Try to keep it more casual with them, and they're a lot more willing to open up and share.
Although we're there to build those relationships and we want to advocate for them, it is a professional relationship, and we need to remember that and maintain those boundaries, because we're not there to be friends and buddies as much as we are there to provide the support that they need.
Doing chores in the morning in a program is not just doing chores. That's a life space moment that you can have effect, that you can have conversation, that you can help them see different things in life. And those life spaces can be very small, like chores, or very profound with a crisis situation in their life. The death of a parent, an attempted suicide by one of our clients. Those are profound and dramatic life space moments, but those are real life space moments. Just the same as the chores are, just the same as a car drive is never just a car drive.
Mold the child to, it's hard to, I don't want to say success, but to mold them into the right path. They need that support from, the right people that actually care.
From the get-go, you have to realize that you are a role model from the moment you walk into your place of work. And sometimes that takes a lot of concentration because you have social relationships with people. They may have been lacking, male or female role models in their life, and they pick up a lot from you. And I think that that's something, especially perhaps some of the younger people need to realize, is that from the moment you walk in, you're on.
We're on the ground, right? We're cooking, we're cleaning, we're engaging, we're facilitating. It's all about the relationship. I think we're very fortunate and we're unique in a sense that we get to form these relationships with children and youth. We get to move through the everyday moments and really see them progress and become, successful citizens.
But sometimes that counseling session is happening in front of a basketball hoop, while you're bouncing a basketball. And that's it, because like you're saying, in that moment, and it's taking those teachable moments with a client or wherever there's opportunity, and that's everywhere and anywhere, really.
Our work is done in the community, in the family's home, in the school, in their client's workplace, where they live, in their life space is where we're meeting them. And so we need to be cognizant of the fact that we have to meet them at their level, on their terms, in their environment.
Supporting them from various things, from waking them up in the morning, finding their goals, working towards their goals.
Sitting on case conference, plan of cares, we get to create treatment plans and be a part of that. We get to attend meetings and look at resources and community connections for young people.
I think what's important, one, is that it is a collaboration, working together, that it's a partnership, that you're not always going to see eye to eye, and it's work. It's almost like a marriage. It's a work marriage, working together, coming together for the best interests of the youth and the families that you work with.
Sometimes perhaps the CYWs sometimes are given more the behavioral challenges when it comes to patients. Other patients might have medical needs that the nurse needs to specifically address and work with them.
Often when students come to us, they've come to us having had pretty horrific school experiences in the past. Many have been out of school for long periods of time. So what we want to try and do is help kids to start to feel good about receiving an education.
By and large, we plant seeds. And unlike farmers that get to watch their seeds come to fruition, some of the stuff that we do with our young people takes years for them to work, and so we might not ever see it.
It's hard to know when you're actually making that, assisting people to make that movement.
As a CYW, we always really want people to get better and to make changes quickly. But what we understand when we're with kids and youth every day in their homes or in their shelter, in their faces, kind of 24/7, 365 days a year, is we need to be slow and respect where they're at and do that with non-judgment and help them move through it through tiny things that happen.
I went in with a big bang thinking we were going to save everyone, and I remember from school people saying, you got to be careful, you're not going to be able to save everyone. And there's been some that I've been able to help and some I haven't, but when I started I thought I'd save everyone, and I thought I'm going to end up burning myself up. And you learn quickly that you can take a horse to the watering can, but sometimes it's got to drink on its own.
You do want to rescue, and you want to save, and you want to fix the world and help everybody, and you need to understand sometimes that you maybe can't save everybody. You might save tons and hundreds, but you might not be able to help everyone.
Try to dissect everything and thinking I could save the world, but you do your best on every given day, and you go from there.
For me, was a lot of learning that things aren't always going to end the way that I want them to, but if you act in the best interest of yourself and the individual, then ultimately the best ending is going to be the one that came out of it.
People that you work with, that you work really, 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 really hard with, and they work really hard.
You try to do the best you can, and but from my experience, you go to work every day, you do the best that you can, and eventually it's going to pay off.
The percentage of not so great times definitely outweighs the great times. The difference in this work is that small percentage of good stuff is so good that it outweighs all of the bad.
So profound moments and little moments, but every one of them are what we do as child and youth workers.
I had a clear understanding of what kind of person Miss Began was to me. I knew that she was there to help me and to help me guide me on my way.
They were completely different youth, like able to support each other, to be themselves in a whole different setting. And it was a magical experience every time.
So I think that's the best part of my job, and having them call me back and say, hey, I'm graduating, do you want to come? And so it's being able to make those relationships and continue that attachment even when they move on from here.
Many of them at one point did believe that they could be successful and they could do well in school and feel good about themselves, and it got lost on their way. So being able to support them and witness the positive change, it's just an incredible feeling.
They will contact you, and that's great, because a lot of times we don't really know the impact that we have on kids, and kind of wonder, well, what did that piece of work really mean? And then sometimes you get the validation a number of years later, and that makes me feel really good.
I think it's become more than a job. It's our life, and having children come into our home and be part of our family is not just what we do anymore. It's our family.
I'm happy where I'm at right now. I love what I've learned. It's not you sitting in an office, but it is a rewarding job, and I love it, and I want to continue. I want to continue to learn.
I never thought I would ever work in a field like this. Like, I was a factory guy, and I was always going to be a factory guy, and then, you know, I almost wish I started this 10 years ago.
As a child and youth worker, and having my co-workers at CYWs and having CYW students, I think that we do play a major role in their lives, and I believe that they really look up to us, and they really, and a lot of them, they want to become CYWs.
I think it would almost be like a missing link if we weren't there, because it is a profession, and I think some of the outcomes wouldn't be as positive.
In that time, you've obtained great skills, great social skills, great ways of interacting with people, not just kids, but also with people, I find, as well.
Like, it's just something that I'm very passionate about, and I'm willing to do.
I gotta tell everybody, it is a hard job, but at the end of it, it's rewarding.
And I love this profession, and I recommend it to anybody.
And she asked if I was at work, and she says, I'm going to come see you. And this was New Year's Eve. So she said, I said, okay. I said, is everything all right? She's like, yeah, I just need to come see you. So this gets me every time. She took a bus 2 hours. She said, I wanted to thank you because she says if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be alive to celebrate this New Year's. Sorry. So it gets me all the time when I just think about her, and the fact that at this point she was almost turning 18, that she traveled 2 hours just to say thank you, because she wouldn't celebrate if it wasn't for me, because she said she would have been dead with the lifestyle she was living. So anyway, so it gets to me. That was a while ago. But.
Yeah. And what do you think is the best part about child and youth workers?
That you get to help kids be a better person.
Oh, that's pretty cool, eh?
We have a picture above our fireplace that says there's a little boy looking out over the ocean, and he's got his hands in his back pocket, and on the bottom of it, it says, 100